It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now, no need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
So, it wasn't a dream after all. Rubbish. Rubbish. Oh, I don't even remember them strapping me down. Boring. Animals die. Freight or food.
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
Fresh meat. Nice. Plump. Banded like a chicken's leg, too. That may be so, but look at the flies. And wisdom. Flies know when a creature...
With 2 shakes of her stumpy tail, the sheep turns away from you to peruse her hay-filled mane. Did you expect a needle?
This floor plate triggered something.
You there. Come here.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens.
Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy lizard? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. it's about time too. The lads and lasses up there are getting lazy. Figures they'd send one of you sorcerers down. They can barely be chuffed to wiggle a single toe. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. If it's all the same, I think it's best he comes with me. Some offence intended. Yeah. Come on. And keep your hands where I can see them. Hurry it up, sorcerer. We haven't got all day.
That's one problem solved. A dead magister.
So much
Somebody
for
will have to
peaceful
take the
stroll.
blame for this. And it won't be me.
Empty.
Not the most elegant solution, was it? And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
It seems as though there's a pattern. That can't be natural.
Empty.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Now, where did I leave my calipers? Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of... There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest. And he's the chap, and you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Is he? Oh, well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they? Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. My, aren't we a meek little lamb? So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because for your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. No. You're alive, and you're having a conversation. You are on a ship, of course, but luckily for us both...
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too gentle. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
Good gods. There's been a murder here.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. Aren't you enterprising? I'll let Waters take... Go ahead. She with the body.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here? Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. We'll find out who did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless...
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Figured as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it, and who's your real enemy. You let me know if you hear anything.
Come on, please, Louisa.
A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know. You are, husband. would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You'd presume right. Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel... As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though...
Good luck, Chief.
My mum is afraid of lizards. I'm not. I think you're neat. I'd be... Wow! You're a dragon. You look like a dragon. Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer.
Name? The Divine Order wants to know. Well, you aren't here on my list. Scrammy, we're trying to catch a killer here.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty.
You! Sorcerer! Blood? No! Go! Ruff!
You get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about swords.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be able to take them on. They're everywhere now, the Magisters. In my hometown, you can't throw a shoe without hitting one. We're not safe from...
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his attention to the ship once more.
You look like a boy to me. Listen, if you're interested. Or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about swords.
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger.
He cocks his ear to the other side.
Anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my... That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
Ask what you must.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
There has been...
Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about
No,
the
indeed, boy. But that...
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard. Gold medallions...
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge...
Jill, is that right? I've a few questions for
If
you.
you'll be pardoning me, I'll be much obliged.
You are Jill, aren't you?
I ain't saying nothing.
Bloody dwarves. I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk here.
Forgive me, kin. Were that I had more than gruel to serve. If I'd more than cornmeal and rotting roots, I'd concoct something more fitting. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down. Like a farmer, all of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find... Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my... On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
What you must. I've nothing to hide.
Seems to me you should be a little more...
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
My slave, of course. Oh, but... I see. Yes, I... Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort...
Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up. His big round... He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your scales, and...
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I am reading. Is this not evident? My book is in my hands, my face turned away from you. Perhaps my eyes not on the page. Damnable thing.
He grabs a metal plate and watches his reflection with one eye as the other shifts left to right and up to down. He repeats the maneuver with it.
No, they are working quite adequately. It seems you are at fault. Predictable, really. Oh? Oh, I see. I crossed a cultural taboo. How? You have my apologies. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Understand. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your god. This text tells me that they created all creatures. But no. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get...
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses on...
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword, and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with point...
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first
The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he...
What are you conspiring about over there? You!
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name!
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he...
Away with you!
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips, as he leans back against the wall.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They say,
Snake eyes.
She chuckled.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one. I'm rolling dice, deciding fates. Don't worry, honey.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lip.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite...
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat groomed.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together. Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe. I don't...
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
The pale young woman doesn't acknowledge you. She nods to the right without moving her gaze from the ground.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Unacceptable. One of us.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen...
It's a register, sir. Good, good. Matt, you faring okay so far?
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned.
He tugs the collar.
Sorry you're upset, sir. But we all wear what we wear for... You head on in now, William. Take care of yourself now.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You Simon.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you.
There are others whose lives must...
Good God! You there, sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precise.
What's happened?
What happened? Must have been the water. Wine, for goodness.
The lizard's eyes close. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. The dwarf lies in a heap. Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground. His eyes flicker. Ifan cries out.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
Her hand lies limp in yours.
The dice roll darkly.
The Magister lies on the floor,
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing...
get off this wreck, and quick! Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards!
Thank the gods! By the fine grace, what was...
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you.
Even if I knew how to rip that thing off, I wouldn't. Some crazy banshee comes screaming through, and now we got void...
He whispers loudly to the other.
Don't just cower there, Rix. Take out your blood.
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand. The Magisters look to each other, then back to you, and unsheath their...
Your lies end here.
Thought Rivellon was flat.
Bishop Alexander, if Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order?
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls. The hairs on its...
Sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Please, make it stop. Too much. Too much. Can't smell.
The dog whines and continues pawing at it.
Long before this thing snaps into splinters. Something's pounding on the hull.
Through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fool! It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid! No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping.
Yes, indeed. It's the... Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive... A mask that was stolen by that damned witch. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed. Just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship, and I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book. The door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The colour drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow...
I need to get out of here now!
The lifeboat! That means there's still a chance!
Shut your trap, kid! Children and dwarves first, just like the old stories.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
Said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time to get the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there.
You're gonna be the death of us. Had to open your big mouth, didn't you?
The Magister lies on...
Up the ladder. Wait! Find Wogan!
Beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
They who are about to triumph.
I'll yield none.
I've faced worse. Read the letter for me.
Let the games begin. I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary. We make a pretty good team. Away! The sea's hungry.
They smell even worse dead than alive.
You
My time is short, although yours.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken make short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems something wanted me alive. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They'd made it to shore. I thought this statue must be 1,000 years old. Wonder how much longer it'll last.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards.
Really? Like, what kind of stories?
A seven-headed snake, I hear it anyway.
You want me tell the tale of Visha, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is some...
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose.
I don't see any sauce on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than outside. They're gone now. The Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow. You have my...
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so... As far as the whole slave business is... Now then, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence...
He sighs.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror. The world. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so...
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that the grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. This and that. Tag along. Do you really mean to compare the... On the other hand, I really could do with a dog's body. And you've already proven to be trustworthy. Fine. On one... For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. One of our kind's revered miss... I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without... As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be... Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the...
A black cat. Some would see this...
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. Me? I know who I am. At least I think I do. Sometimes it feels like... No, I know who I am. Who are you? Most don't see what's coming.
The cat shakes its head, as if trying to wake up from a deep sleep. The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus, and with a jerk he turns away from it. The cat's eyes are
What's going on?
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stink. I'm sure glad you went...
The cat's eyes are cloud...
Stuff your boat ever again. Never.
You there, lizard? I'm looking for an inmate. A smallish... Have you seen him? None of your business,
A little respect for Griff's right hand.
Where is he?
I'm not mad, darling. I'm not mad.
Now speak.
The cat stares at the... The cat stares at the scene before it, every muscle tense.
Your godwoman has asked you a... Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, you...
This can't be serious, Alexander.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, lizard!
Natusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quick...
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to him. The fate of our realm hangs in the Dallas.
Yes, your holiness.
I...
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Listen.
Where is he? Come on, old man. I can't wait all day. Where is he? He hasn't changed a bit. Always late.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes. The cat's eyes are...
She's gone, Father. Gone.
Come on then, Lipson.
The cat's eyes are
Find any bread. I want no trouble.
hasn't changed a bit. Always late.
Pipe down. It's time to accept reality.
Come on then, Lexi. Stay up.
I find any bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket, both the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others.
God!
Pathetic.
You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cunt chewer.
Come on, old man.
Have you
I can't wait all day.
Disgusting, just like all your kind.
Disgusting like theft. Disgusting like threats.
She's gone, Father. Gone.
Right, God. Will you quit dragging this on? Ain't that on, Lexi? Just that.
I will not.
She's gone, Farah. Gone.
You push you. I want only bread.
Come on then, Lexi. Lay up.
I find any bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket, toast the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others. Pathetic.
You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cunt chewer.
Have you cud?
She's gone, Farah. Gone.
Disgusting, just like all your kind.
Always late. Disgusting like theft. Disgusting like threats.
Great God, will you quit dragging this on? Ain't that hard, Lexi. Just hand over the gold.
Where is he?
I will not.
She's gone, Farah. Gone.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
I find any bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket, toast the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others.
She ain't coming back.
You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cunt chewer.
Have you cud?
Disgusting, just like all your kind.
Disgusting like theft. Disgusting like threats.
Great God, will you quit dragging this on? Ain't that hard, Lexi. Just hand over the gold.
Not now. I will not.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
I find any bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket, toast the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others. Pathetic.
You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cunt chewer.
Have you cud?
Disgusting, just like all your kind.
Is that indigestion or is it
Disgusting.
Oh God. Not now.
Disgusting like threats.
Right, what? Will you quit dragging this on? Just hand over the gold.
So this is Fort Joy.
What a crumbling disaster.
Surely you'll have one.
You don't smell like oranges. I thought all lizards smelled like oranges.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves did mean so much.